trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Hello, Shoshana, Claudette, Deronda, G from the land, Buckhorst, DC. All right. Everybody hit that like button. Songwriter Sunny, Lady Painter, Cherokee Descendant Dale. Millicent is here. All right. Volvo is in the virtual building. Okay. Coco Marshmallows. That Crazy Beach Aries. Roberta. Okay, Alice, I see you, beloved. So shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they put in work. Okay, so before we get started, as per usual, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's just get right into it. We're going to have some updates on what's going on with the war. We're going to talk about what's exactly going on in Tel Aviv and how it's looking, because it looks a whole hot mess. Okay, the footage they didn't want anybody seeing. And even though they threatened to have people arrested, people still chose to release the footage. Okay, now also, first things first, let's talk about Clarissa Shields and Papoose, because it came out yesterday. I mean, it could have come out before that. I just heard about it yesterday. I guess I'm behind. But it has come out that Clarissa has been accused of cheating on Papoose. Now, who brought this out besides 50 Cent? 50 Cent is quite messy. He's always going in on somebody and keeping up some sort of mess. Okay, that's just what he does, in my opinion. Now, and you know, people are starting to question whether or not he's actually, you know, being paid to sow these seeds of discord. Okay, I'll go to the video of the accusations at some point. But this is also crazy to me, because here's the thing. Y'all know I don't really like to gossip, but I know y'all love it anyway, some of you. So that's why we're talking about it. But here's the thing. This all just shows how some people can be so miserable no matter how much money they have, and they just want to bring other people down, because even if she did cheat, why does he care? And second of all, why are they still beefing anyway? Okay? Now, yes, messy boots, Claudette. Now, that all being said, let's go to this post here. Says, here you go, 50 Cent. Get a successful, pretty black woman. That's what somebody said. And I'm going to share my screen. I mean, does 50 Cent just have an in for black women because his first baby mom ticked him off or whatever? I don't know. Okay, so first off, you see this picture he posted with Pap wearing the wig, and Clarissa's supposed to be the man, I guess. At 50 Cent, you getting sued. You can't lie and put bodies on me. Okay, then she typed in, can you sue someone for playing or for saying you slept with someone else? It says, yes, you can sue someone for falsely claiming that you slept with someone else or through a defamation lawsuit, slander if spoken, libel if written. Now, if the statement is untrue or was published to others and caused damage to your reputation or resulted in tangible harm, the false statement must be made with malicious intent or reckless disregard for the truth. Okay, defamation, the statement must be false. So, yeah, you know, if it isn't true, she's going to sue 50 Cent more likely than not. And here's the thing. Even if it is true, how's 50 going to prove it? Does he have video footage? Because he said he's got a ring door cam. Now, that doesn't mean anything, because somebody's on camera going into someone's house or leaving someone's house. That really doesn't prove anything in the court of law. Okay? That doesn't really prove anything. Now, with that all being said, here's the post that 50 put up. It's all nefarious. I don't know why anybody's even playing games with 50 at this point. Okay, I would just totally ignore him. I would not be wanting to beef with him. Okay, now this says, very, very handsome. Hey, Pap, ask your old lady Clarissa if she's ucking Maserati Bud. Tell her to be honest, because I have the ring camera videos. Okay, so he's basically saying he has receipts, so don't try to lie. Now let's go to the video, because after this, supposedly Clarissa and one of her friends or somebody, I'm not sure, allegedly recorded a phone conversation, and Maserati Bud got upset, so he came out with a video trying to expose Clarissa. Okay, so let's go to the footage. Now, at some point, I'm going to, oh, darn, you know what? I can't even mute it, because at some point, there's going to be music playing. Well, nonetheless, let's continue.
Me and my dog Five was already on the phone before I even talked to you. He told me that, man, boy, just play, man, just dumb that shit down. That's why I said my dog petty ass Jackson. Because he told me to play it like that, and I wasn't play it like that, play dumb, and I wasn't going to respond on and play with it. But since you want to record phone calls, guess what? I'm finna release all this footage. Yeah, that's right. I said I'm finna release the footage, man. Yeah, on Christmas, I was inside the crib. When you was on FaceTime, Papoose, I got the video. When she FaceTiming you, guess what? I'm sitting right there in the living room at the same chair that I helped her get for her home gift. That bed, I picked out that bed. The bed with the TV come out of it, yeah, I picked out all that furniture in the house. The pool in the back, I can tell you how the whole crib look. Been all through the crib. She done been in my crib. She done been in my crib butt ass naked. Yeah, ask me, Nene. She just told you on the phone. Yeah, I came out the bathroom with the towel around me. All that. She just told you that, Nene. Yeah, your best friend who recorded the phone call. And guess what? I played it like that. I knew you were recording. Because guess what? You recorded me without me knowing. So therefore, guess what? I'm suing you in the state of Georgia. You can't do that. So let's take this shit to civil court. That's what you want to do? We can do that. But I'm going to release this footage when you in cars riding with me singing and I'm writing rap for you, me and you in the studio. Yeah, all that. You remember this? Remember she was on FaceTime with you? Remember this? Where I'm at? Had to hide. Since we gonna play these games, yeah, shaking my head, you know, for the streets. Thought she was singing to you, man. You really thought she was singing to him. Stop playing, man. I'm gonna keep releasing videos now.
Now, I find this all interesting. Here's the thing, though. You know, it's funny how people be going in on Clarissa. They don't like her for whatever reason. A lot of them are Remy fans. And so they say Pap doesn't really like her. He's playing her for Remy. They say all kinds of crazy things. But then when this comes out, then they're like, oh, she cheated on Pap and this and that. But the whole time they've been saying, well, that's not even really your man. He's still married to Remy. Remy and him didn't sign the divorce papers. They're still married. So here's the question. If he's still married to Remy, how's Clarissa cheating? If he's still married, how's Clarissa the one that's a cheater? I have several questions. The whole thing is just messy, okay? And for entertainment purposes only, as far as I'm concerned. Because quite frankly, I don't care what any of these people are doing, okay, in their bedrooms, okay? Why should I? I mean, why should I? I like Clarissa, I like Papoose, and I like Remy. But at the end of the day, these people that are so obsessed with this type of information, the ones that go in on Clarissa saying that she's messing with this married man, trying to be so judgmental, probably have done the same exact things in their lives at some point, and also probably don't have a healthy, happy relationship of their own at this moment. That's why they're so concerned about other people's. Okay? But of course, DC said Pap loves her, ain't no doubt. I mean, I think that he does too. Now listen, here's the thing though. This video is old. It's 2 years old. Because if you look at the timestamp on the video where he recorded it, it says December 25th of 2024. Now, supposedly her and Pap started dating somewhere around September or October of 2024. So that would be maybe 2 to 3 months prior to that. So were they even really serious? Wasn't he still living with Remy? So I just think this is all just people trying to make something out of nothing. Okay, and 50 Cent needs to sit down somewhere. Now, with that all being said, he said Clarissa was naked at his house. Okay. Well, they did say that she took a shower there, but he didn't say they had sex. So which leads me to think that they didn't. Okay. So with that all being said, this is somebody clout chasing, in my opinion, and just mad. Okay, and just trying to expose something that and trying to make something more than what it really is. And like I said, 50 Cent talking about ring door footage. What does that even mean? You could see somebody walking in or out of somebody's residence. You don't know what the hell they did while they were in there unless you have proof. Okay, so with that all been said, let's go to this clip of Clarissa. I mean, I'm just team Clarissa and Pap all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. That's all I'm saying, in case you missed it. But with that all being said, let's go to this video of Clarissa. I think this is where she's talking about what happened between her and 50. And, you know, 50 has long been a hater of Pap's, has he not? He's just a hater, period. 50 Cent is just a hater. Y'all have to know that by now. Okay, this man is not happy with life. Men that are happy, people that are happy with life and have all the money that he has, to be going around doing all of this causing misery, chaos, and just disdain, creating enemies unnecessarily, you're not a happy person. I don't care what anyone says. No one can convince me this man is happy with life. He's miserable. Now, I don't know why he's miserable, but surely he is. This is not the behavior of someone who's happy and thrilled. I promise you.
Me out the Shreveport. I supported his organization. Playing a certain basketball game. I came to his parties. He invited me out to everything, showed so much hospitality. Like, I knew he was a genuine fan, right? And I was a genuine fan of him. You know, coming up, I mean, I was a little thug coming up. So listening to many men, I just said many women, you know, wish death on me. And you know, I was a fan of his music. And you know, I think that just with that, everything that happened and me being the person that I am, I'm like, you know what? I deleted all the 50 Cent songs out of my phone and I unfollowed them on social media. And I just washed my hands with it because it was like, I ain't do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who I'm tied to or if you wanted to go out the year with a bang. But that's all it was. It's this whole algorithm thing. I'm big in the algorithm for some reason, just to being myself. And people feel like they have to tie it in their mind to get some clout. And he chose clout over being just a real person. You know what I'm saying? It was like, this dude, he flew me out to Shreveport.
Okay, 50 is clearly nefarious. Now, hold on. Let's go. Let's go to this next clip that 50 posted where he said that Clarissa was doing an interview and Maserati Bud, that's the guy's name that they're accusing her of cheating with, said he was recording her while she's doing the interview. Okay, like I said, 50 is so darn petty. Now, here he is in the car and he's singing, and I guess he's directing this to Pap and Clarissa.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies.
Make God popular. Make God popular. Gotta hate on me. What's supposed to be and what's supposed to be a
He is so messy. Why you gotta hate on me? You're supposed to be a mother-ucking G. I am done, okay? So anyway, with that all being said, the writer said 50 needs to sit down somewhere and join AARP. Okay, he is just nefarious. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to this next clip. This is what some TikTokers had to say about
Now,
it.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, what is this? What is this? And why are you still bothering them people? And then you making allegations that Clarissa Shields is messing with this man, Maserati Bud. Whoever that is. I don't even know who this is. Now, I'm assuming that this is in response to Pap freestyling over many men and going crazy. Effortlessly in the car. He had to remind us that he really rap. I don't know if y'all seen it. Now, I'm not going to lie. Them G-Unit sneakers was kind of ass. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I just want to be honest. I don't want no smoke because I know how you like to make documentaries, but he wasn't lying. And my last thing is that these tactics from 50 is getting a little old. You know what I'm saying? It's not giving gangster rap. It's not giving get in the booth. It's not giving many men. Because many men went crazy. I'm not going to hold y'all. Many men went nuts. But these tactics, I think you might be a little too old.
Looks like 50 Cent said Clarissa been cheating on Papoose. What is going on here? I'm not gonna lie, I do be believing a lot of what 50 say because he does come with receipts. He took it to Instagram to say, very, very handsome. Hey, Pap, ask your old lady Clarissa if she's effing Maserati Bud. Tell her to be honest because I have the Ring camera videos. Now, who sent 50 the Ring camera videos? Y'all know he gonna post it. Y'all messy. Remy Ma about to have a field day with this one. Now, we all know Clarissa's gonna come on here and deny the allegations, but I suggest her not to because 50 said he got the Ring cameras. I believe him, don't y'all? I just want to know why he don't go this hard on T.I. He keeps saying he's working on a documentary, but I don't know, man. I think the Harris family was the one to take it, and he just left it alone. Is this going to be the end of Papoose and Clarissa if the Ring camera get posted? I really don't think so, because I think Pap in it for the money anyways. I don't know, man. Just let it go, Pap. Just let it go. Save yourself the embarrassment. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
These people are something else. Okay. Said no says no one wants to tell 50 that he needs therapy. I mean, I really think he does. I have to agree. Okay, so anyway, let's go to the next clip. Because there's some people that think that 50 is just problematic. Okay, there's some people that think that he's absolutely an issue in the Black community. You put an overlay on here.
Man, 50 Cent ain't gonna stop. He's still attacking Black women. The beautiful lady you guys are watching, the Black beautiful lady who fell on the canvas, her name is Egypt Crisis. She's the daughter of Naughty by Nature Tretch and Sandra Detton of Salt and Pepper. And got knocked out by Jay Jones. But this video isn't about that. You see, there's a man named Curtis Jackson who unfortunately lost his mom. And we still don't really know who started the fire because we do know 8-year-old boys can start fires. But Curtis decided to use his platform to ridicule this woman for whatever reasons. And we know she's a Black woman who lost to a white woman, and he chose to mock this woman. Now, me, I'm a boxing enthusiast. I love boxing. Many of you guys seen my home gym. I love boxing. I have nothing against Jay Jones. The best person won the fight. To keep it real with you, I even teach my sons how to box. Jay Jones was exceptional. I even love the press conference.
Exactly the same.
Yo, 50 Cent is attacking Black women. I'm gonna teach you people something. That was her first fight. She's a singer, guys.
Something's got a hold of me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore.
Like, why would Curtis make fun of this woman? I mean, I understand why now his ex-white girlfriend, Chesley Handler, had to remind 50 he was Black.
And I had to remind him that he was a Black person.
Like Curtis, you know it's horrible when a white woman has to remind you you're still Black. See, just like King told us, 50 loves attacking Black women. We knew that already. Black people, look at them, read the names. And the thing is, these 50 groupies proclaim to protect Black women, but they support attacking them. It's like the only time 50 Cent is comfortable when he's around white people.
Let's toast to success. Let's toast to health. Let's toast to prosperity.
Look, it's one thing to make fun of Blacks, but notice that Jay Jones had all the white people around her supporting her. I wish 50 did the same thing. Look, I already know 50 groupies are going to attack me, but I didn't do any joke in this video. I only spoke truth. Why couldn't 50 Cent lift up the sister, pick her up, and tell her it's going to be okay? Do you got issues with Naughty by Nature? Man, 50 Cent ain't going to stop.
So what do you all think about what he had to say? Okay, what do you all think about what he had to say? Must be raccooning hard for those TV series. I've been told y'all that 50 is a whole raccoon, honey. I told y'all that. I used to love 50 till I found out he was a whole raccoon. Nubia says Shields don't know what it is to be a warrior. The sacrifice will be her love. She should have kept that love private and focused on us seeing her as a warrior. Well, she is a warrior. In my opinion, her personal life really doesn't have anything to do with her boxing ability. She is a warrior. Anybody that was assaulted as a child, 5 to 7 years old for 2 years, came from poverty, had a hard life growing up and all of that she went through. She's absolutely a warrior. Look to where she got. She's won gold medals. Okay. She's a champion. So she's definitely a warrior and she knows how to be because warriors overcome adversity. They turn their test into their testimony. And that's exactly what she's done. Okay, and that's exactly what she's done. And also, she's a Pisces. So is Papoose. All right, and Pisces are very resilient people, is all I'm saying because I'm one myself. Okay, so with that all being said, and here's the thing: anytime you're a celebrity, once people see you out in the public eye, you're already going to be talked about. Okay, even if you're not purposely putting your information out there, you're going to be talked about regardless, because that's just what people do. They have people are infatuated with these celebrities and their lifestyles and their relationships and all of that. Okay, let's go to the next clip. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
50 Cent is the biggest, blackest Karen. Every time you turn around, he want to speak to a man. I need to speak to a man. Shut up. Who brag about calling the police? I'm finna call the police. Shut up. It's like when the jokes get to getting funny, he calling 911. Hello, is this 911? They talking about me. Shut up, big teeth. I mean, it's really baffling that he got online thinking it sounded cool. I'm mad at them. I'm about to make a documentary on them. Shut up, ugly. Police. Only number he know is 911. God damn, you don't know no other number? I know 911 get tired of hearing from his ass. He make TV shows about being the total opposite of who he really is. Actually, he's the opposition. He a coon with a camera. It's like he black, but he's a culture vulture. I'll never forget when he was dating Chelsea Handler, and she said that she had to remind him that he was black. If a white person ever say that they had to remind me that I was black, that's the day I'm moving to the Nation of Islam, because I'm getting my black card back. You ain't got to remind me I'm black. I'm black. And how you gonna make a documentary about assaulting women when you literally have court records of you assaulting women? The correlation is just uncanny. I mean, you that upset that T.I. and his whole family, I mean, even the little girl made the kids about this song about you. But you got to try to make a documentary about this family? He's so narcissistic with his big Ninja Turtle back heaven ass. That's why I always say don't never trust somebody who got them rolls on the back of their neck. They got them rolls on the back of their neck, they ain't happy.
He said that's a miserable man with rolls on the back of his neck. I told y'all, and I absolutely believe it. Okay, I absolutely believe it. He is absolutely a raccoon. Now, with that all being said, let's get into the real news. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. All right, so now, as I was telling you all, there has been, a lot of things they didn't want you to see about what was going on in Tel Aviv. And so now, like I said, people posted the footage anyway, and we're going to look at it. So I'm going to show you a compilation of videos so you can see just how extensive the damage is. Okay, please pay attention.
Word on the curb is that net then went Yahoo to the pits of hell right with his brother. And the reason I believe it is because usually I see that big face, big eared bitch on my timeline way too much in video after video after video, and I heard shit from him in days. Lucifer then Lucifer then came on and collected, huh?
So it looks like Donald Trump forgot to tell the American people this. Check this
Iran's new
out.
supreme leader has issued his first message since the start of the war. An Associated Press translation shows the written message says the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed and calls for Iran's Gulf neighbors to shut down U.S. bases. Meanwhile, Iranian forces attacked at least 2 oil tankers in the Persian Gulf overnight and destroyed a massive oil facility at Oman's biggest port. Now gas prices are rising for the 12th straight day as governments rush to prevent a global crisis.
So I thought the Strait of Hormuz was open. He never mentioned they closed it, nor did he mention they blew some shit up. I was wondering when I went to the gas station this morning why the gas went up an extra 30 cents. Meanwhile, the oil that he got from Venezuela, we don't even use that type of oil. You know how much shit they gonna have to do to that oil to get it to how we really need it? Meanwhile, the prices of the gas is about to sky fucking rocket. I didn't ask for this shit. You didn't ask for this shit. But inquiring minds want to know. How are you feeling at that gas pump right now? Count me out.
After a relatively quiet day here in Tel Aviv, albeit with a lot of running up and down to the bunker and interceptions above us, there's been the first big hit in the centre of the city. Looks like considerable damage has been done. There's been a lot of missiles fired at Israel today, more than 150 ballistic missiles, we are told. But unlike the 12-day war, they haven't been coming in large bunches, rather smaller salvos, but more frequently. It's meant that people have spent a lot of time underground with constant red alerts.
It's scary. I'm scared to go. I'm from a town 15 minutes away. I'm kind of scared to drive.
And while there has been quite a lot of criticism internationally of the Israeli government describing this as a preemptive attack, the view here in Israel seems to be that this is a war that needed to happen.
I don't support any kind of war, but whatever has to be done, you know?
Yeah, I think it's come too late. It's been talking about it happening already for some time and everyone's been a bit uncertain.
So we are expecting another long night here. When it was rockets coming from Gaza, a lot of people ignored the warnings, not too worried about the risk with these ballistic missiles. People don't want to take any chances.
The Iranian armed forces brought on a missile that struck Tel Aviv in memory of the victims of Epstein Island. How will we teach the children in 30 years from now that our president would rather wage World War III than lock up the pedophiles? How are we going to tell them kids that? Then they hide media from us. Do y'all know that Tel Aviv is being bombed to smithereens? Do y'all know all that tax dollars that was bragging about that damn dome is not doing nothing? How ironic. The two nations that benefit the most from the Epstein files are the ones waging war. It's costing them the most too. Iran destroys the radar system at the heart of the U.S. missile defense. I read that over $1 trillion in military bases has been sabotaged within a couple of days that took them 30 or 40 years to build. Then why are the leaders of these two nations trying to frame the conflict with Iran as a religious war? It didn't stop at Christian nationalism. By using theological beliefs to justify actions, mobilize political opinion, and leverage support, Mitchell, the professor at Durham University, says that these folks are smoking dope and dog food. If they believe that we gonna believe that they fighting the holy war, unless they fighting for the devil. What this means is that the Iranians is trying to bring us justice on the Epstein files for the American government even attempt to. Education is elevation.
All right, so you all heard that. Now, let's go to the next set of videos. Like, sub, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Thank you.
They won't show you on news in America about Tel Aviv.
Hello, the killers. The ones who bomb homes, who silence children before they learn to speak, who destroy lives and then call it defense. You weren't satisfied killing women and children in Gaza. Do to them what you've done to Palestinians. But Gaza was filled with civilians. Iran is not the same. You started the fire, and when it burned too hot, you screamed. You called Trump. You begged the world to stop it. But where were your cries when Gaza was burning? You only stop the war when it's too big for you. You only call for peace when you're losing. You only speak of humanity when you're scared. This is not hate. This is a reminder, a mirror, a voice for the voiceless. You made Gaza live a nightmare for years. Homeless children, broken mothers, mass graves. And the world, it watched. Some even defended your crimes. But now when the missiles come your way, you want understanding? Now you feel pain? Now you ask for mercy? No, not revenge, just accountability, just justice. May you feel exactly what you gave, not more, not less. Peace doesn't come from power. Peace comes when the powerful stop killing the powerless. This message is for educational and awareness purposes only, to remember, to reflect, to wake up the world before it sleeps again.
So that's not the one we donated.
Yet a more pragmatic figure presiding over this regime? Sure.
Aaron, I just want to break in for a moment because we're looking at live pictures in the air over Tel Aviv, and obviously, as many people know or maybe don't know, there is an Iron Dome that Israel uses as its missile defense system, and we're seeing it working now. But in some places and instances, it does not work, and I believe this is one missile feasibly that has broken through the Iron Dome.
They are fucking up that country. Iran is tearing that ass up in Israel, okay? And it's fucking crazy because one of the first things I think of when I see shit like this happening, right? It's like you're seeing the videos of people screaming, like there's bombs dropping, so they're trying to find shelter. Is oh my god, like that this is awful. Like what the fuck? This is such an evil world. I feel so bad. What can I do? I want to learn more. But this is Tel Aviv. I'd like to say I have sympathy. I don't have a fucking crumb of sympathy because a couple of with people in sight and then pick out these same lots to bring in their own families later, like that one soldier did. Watch them advocate for their own idea of soldiers to be able to rape Palestinian prisoners. I haven't forgotten the bag with the kids' body parts. I haven't forgotten the baby girl that was hanging on the electrical cord with her legs sawed off. I haven't forgotten anybody. I haven't forgotten none of these. And most making fun of the people that were facing that. Did you guys forget they would dress up and everything to look like Palestinians crying and all that shit? I didn't forget. How could I forget?
All right, I had to silence some of the stuff she was saying. So with that all been said, that is pretty much what has been going on. Okay, please pay attention. So, hold on. This is the last set right here.
It's not very sophisticated or fast. However, it can be done. So this is very dangerous.
All right, General Manor, so I'm sorry, Susie, what? Okay, okay, are we gonna go to Fred? Okay, I'm not totally sure. Well, obviously, we have a little trouble with it. Okay, all right, so Jeremy and I are obviously we're having trouble hearing because we have the sirens going on here as we are going to seek shelter. We do have Fred. We've been trying to establish those communications as well. So Fred Pliken's in Iran. And Fred, I know that, you've been in Tehran where you don't get warnings like this. You've been, under bombardment. Can you just tell us what you were seeing there, when you've been to places that have been heavily hit by Israeli and U.S. strikes like you were today?
Yeah, Aaron, first of all, you're absolutely right. I don't get the kind of warnings that you do, for instance, in Israel. Now, of course, also in other places in the Middle East. In fact, just a couple of minutes ago, before we went to air here, we were actually under pretty heavy bombardment. We heard jets overhead. All of a sudden, that noise became louder, and then there were some pretty big thuds.
Since these news stations are playing favorites and only showing us what's happening in Iran and hiding everything that's happening in Tel Aviv, we now have to look up to independent creators. Now, I found this page after a lot of people suggested it to me, and good people, I'm talking about hourly updates. Yeah, I just found this account, so I'm definitely going to be taking some of my updates from here because, I'm looking for any, sign of AI. It's not AI, good people, so take my word for it. Please do follow.
Okay, so you all saw that. I mean, the devastation is, I see why they wanted to hide it, but also, I don't know if Bibi Netanyahu is dead or not, but that's what's being reported. And let's just go. Also, they're accused of war crimes again. Bibi's people are yet again accused of war crimes for what they have been doing to Lebanon. So let's go to it. I'm going to share my screen. These are some things I posted on X or reposted. Right here it says, it seems that Netanyahu was killed when a hypersonic missile hit his home. To hide what really happened, his people may wait about 10 days and then say that Netanyahu died from an undisclosed medical condition, such as an aneurysm. Like they'll probably say he died from something like that. Like the other guy, they said he died in a car crash. Yeah, conveniently. Okay, and now here's another report. It says Bibi's people killed every paramedic in this photo today in South Lebanon. This was reported about 5 hours ago. 12 paramedics were slaughtered, okay, when Bibi's people struck them. Okay, they deliberately targeted the medical center. Killing medics is a war crime. Killing medics is a war crime and a crime against humanity. Okay, this is medicide. Look at all these medics. Absolutely nefarious. Okay, but they wanted to talk about war crimes the other day when somebody used cluster munitions. Like, please. Okay, find it all interesting. So with that all being said, let's go to this next report because they say Iran's fury unleashed after Trump's car raid backfires. This is from the Hindustan Times. Let's share my screen. Here we go.
ارتش متجاوز آمریکا
The invading U.S. military, after its military bases in the region were destroyed, has fired missiles at the Iranian island of Abu Musa while taking shelter in ports, docks, and hideouts within cities in the UAE. We declare to the leaders of the UAE that the Islamic Republic of Iran considers it its legitimate right, in defense of its national sovereignty and territory, to strike and hit the launch points of American enemy missiles located in shipping ports, docks, and the hideouts of U.S. forces that are taking cover in some cities of the UAE. We call on the Muslim people of the UAE and residents of populated areas to clear out of the ports, docks, and the hideouts used by American forces in UAE cities so that they do not get harmed. Surely Allah is mighty, the Lord of retribution.
The global and regional struggle against Iran, led by US President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, is ramping up and entering the decisive stretch that will continue as long as necessary. I commend President Trump on the heavy blow that the US military struck last night on the Iranian oil island. This is the appropriate response to the minefields of the Strait of Hormuz and the attempts at extortion by the Iranian terrorist regime. The Israeli Air Force is also continuing a powerful wave of attacks on Tehran and throughout Iran. Iran is engaging in regional terrorism and extortion meant to deter Israel and the United States from pressing on with the campaign, and is receiving an uncompromising response which is strong as steel. We are entering the decisive phase of the struggle between the regime's attempts to survive, while causing increasing suffering to the Iranian people and surrender. Only the Iranian people can put an end to this with a determined struggle until the overthrow of the terrorist regime and the salvation of Iran.
Okay, so Mally C says, Queen, I heard a quote yesterday. The first casualty of war is the truth. They said Napoleon made the quote, but AI said it can't be confirmed. It's the truth. So no matter who said it, happy Saturday. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, with that all being said, they say that the IRGC has threatened U.S. forces, in UAE after those Kark Island attacks. President Donald Trump says U.S. forces obliterated Iranian military targets on Kark Island, southwest coast of Iran, and warned oil infrastructure there could be attacked next. Now, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the IRGC, has informed the UAE that U.S. hideouts are legitimate targets after the U.S. struck Kark Island. Now they say Al Jazeera's correspondent in Tehran says huge blast rocked central Tehran after thousands rallied in Iran's capital in a show of support for Palestinians and in defiance of the attacks by the U.S. and Israel. The U.S.-Israeli strikes have killed 1,450 people in Iran since the war started on February the 28th. Countries across the Gulf region, including Qatar and Bahrain, they issued evacuation warnings as Iran continued missile and drone strikes. Now I want you all to pay attention. Here's the thing. One thing about it that I noticed that Iran will tell people, civilians, to get out of there, to go hide or to go take cover. That's what they will do. Like, they don't intentionally try to target civilians as Trump would love for people to think. Okay, so at least not in my opinion. Now they say this is breaking news as of 3 minutes ago. Iran urges Middle East nations to expel U.S. military. They say Iran's foreign minister has appealed to Gulf neighbors and other Middle East nations to expel foreign aggressors as tit-for-tat attacks reverberate throughout the region. The touted U.S. security umbrella has proven to be full of holes and inviting rather than deterring. Hold on, beloveds, pop-ups. Doggone it. Okay, what just happened? Hold on, beloveds. Okay, so anyway, it goes on to say, they say that Iran, for its part, has rejected the possibility of any ceasefire. Okay. Oh, I know what happened. This is updating so fast. Okay. I was wondering, like, where did that go? Okay, so let me continue. Now it says, as tit-for-tat attacks reverberate throughout the region, touted U.S. security umbrella has proven to be full of holes and inviting rather than deterring trouble. Okay, this is what Abbas Araghchi, that is the foreign minister of Iran, that's what he says. U.S. is now begging others, even China, to help make Hormuz safe. Iran calls on brotherly neighbors to expel foreign aggressors, especially as their only concern is Bibi's people. Now they say Donald Trump's administration has rebuffed efforts by Middle Eastern allies to start diplomatic negotiations aimed at ending the U.S.-Israel war. Okay, Reuters has cited 3 sources familiar with the efforts as saying that Iran, for its part, has rejected the possibility of any ceasefire until U.S. and Israeli strikes end. Now, 2 senior Iranian sources told the news agency adding that several countries have been trying to mediate an end to the conflict. Now, a senior White House official confirmed Trump has rebuffed efforts to start ceasefire talks and is focused on pressing ahead with the war to further weaken Tehran's military capabilities. Okay, this is according to reports. They say he's not interested in that right now. Well, I guess he isn't after he tried twice at least already and got rejected. Okay, and we're going to continue with the mission unabated, they say. Maybe there's a day, but not right now. Okay, that's what the official is quoted as saying. President Trump said new potential leadership in Iran has indicated they want to talk and eventually will talk. For now, Operation Epic Fury, also known as Epic Failure, continues unabated. This is what a second senior White House official said to a reporter. A third source reportedly said Iran's top security official, Ali Larjani, and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi had also sought to use Oman as a conduit for ceasefire discussions that would have involved U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. However, those discussions have not materialized. Okay, this in just 5 minutes ago. Iran's foreign minister has appealed to Gulf neighbors and other Middle East nations. Okay, we already got that. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, what do you all think? It seems like the war is raging on, and Trump, he's not going to back down at this point. Okay, he wants to act like he's tough and rough, but we all know that he isn't. I mean, underneath all of that fake bravado, he's clearly just a coward. Okay. They say, this is Cross World News, reports are emerging confirming Benjamin Netanyahu's death. I say, what now? Ding dong, the bitch is dead. Is that what they're saying? Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. Like some, everyone, please like and share. Somebody said begging China for what? Well, they're begging for help to get the Strait of Hormuz so they can get it back open. And they're banking on the fact that other people need oil from there, these other nations, so hoping that they'll help them. But if they're so big and bad, why not just go in there and bogart the Iranians, okay, and just take over, okay, like that reporter asked them yesterday.
What is happening right now is not just another dramatic rumor moving across social media. It is a serious information battle unfolding in the middle of one of the most intense regional confrontations in recent memory. Iranian state-linked media has pushed a major claim suggesting that Israel's top leader may have been severely affected in recent strikes. And that message has spread quickly because it arrived during a period of reduced public visibility and extreme military tension. But the most important point is this: the claim remains unverified, and the latest publicly available information strongly suggests that the speculation has gone much further than the facts. Israeli.
Listen, if he isn't dead, where is he? And why hasn't anyone seen or heard from him? And that video, I do think, is possibly AI, something, or it was either AI or something they previously recorded for such a time as this. That's just my opinion. At the end of the day, he could be gone up out of here. Okay. And they're just trying to cover it all up. Another thing is he likely is dead, because that's probably why the people in Tel Aviv are posting the videos anyway, showing the damage and destruction, even though they've been threatened with prison time. Okay. Because remember, they said that he's the one that threatened that. So maybe that's why they're posting it, because they all already know.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been seen in recent official appearances, including a press conference during the current conflict, which directly challenges the idea that he has completely disappeared or that reports of his removal are confirmed. Still, in a fast-moving regional crisis.
Now, let's think about something. That press conference that he was at, was there anyone asking him any questions, or was he just standing up there talking? Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know. That looks like it could have been pre-recorded, like I said.
Even a temporary gap in appearances can become a powerful tool in the wider information war. The reason this story gained so much traction is easy to understand. During a period of heavy exchanges between Iran and Israel, every public appearance, every official video, and every statement becomes part of the strategic picture. When a central leader is not seen as frequently as expected, rivals can use that silence to create uncertainty. That is exactly what happened here. Iranian outlets moved quickly to connect missile activity, heighten security, and reduce visibility into one dramatic narrative. The message they pushed was not subtle. It was designed to suggest that a major shift.
Okay, well, here's the thing, still unconfirmed, but here's the question is, the question is, if he isn't dead, then where isn't he? Why isn't he out there leading his people? Why isn't he out there giving demands and all of that? I have several questions. Is he a coward? Because either he's a coward or he's dead. One of the two. Okay, and could be both. All right, so hold on. Here's another report talking about maybe he's dead. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see what Trump just said. How did I know this can't be right? Let me see something here. Trump says, war with Iran will end when I feel it in my bones. That's what he said yesterday. But hold on, I just saw something else. Not when he feels it in his bones. Does he mean his bone spurs, perhaps? Please sit down, Trump. Okay. Let me see something here, because I just saw somebody reporting on something. Let me just see if this is even true. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is all nefarious. Hold on, beloveds. Chat GTP is thinking. Okay, ChatGTP said that's not the case. Hold on. Hmm. Okay, anyway, beloveds, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was trying to verify something before I show it. Okay, raw footage back to back. Okay, let's go to this. Let's go to the CNN report. It says Iran war hikes U.S. cost of mortgages, flights, groceries, and more. This is from less than an hour ago. Okay, here we go. It's about to get real bad out here in these streets. I'm telling y'all that now.
May be set back by the climbing mortgage rates. 30-year fixed mortgage increased to 6.11% for the week that just ended on Friday. That's according to Freddie Mac. For context, the rate was just under 6% 2 weeks ago. That was something that had not happened since 2022. With me now, Joel Berner, senior economist at Realtor.com. Joel, good morning to you. The inflationary pressure that's created by this war is unique. Typically, as I understand it, in geopolitical crises, these rates come down. People move toward purchasing homes as a safe investment. What should we expect to see in the near term?
You're exactly right, Victor. What we would expect to see normally is the safe haven effect, where volatility in the stock market leads people to invest in bonds instead, and those interest rates come down. But what's happening here is that the inflationary expectations are a stronger effect on the interest rate market than that safe haven effect. We expect that this war is going to increase prices in the future, and as prices in the future make money less valuable in the future, money today, like money for buying a home, becomes more expensive. And so mortgage rates go up, and we would have had a really great spring buying season with mortgage rates dipping below 6% for the first time in a couple of years. But now we've seen all of those gains go to waste, and we're in a situation where buying a home now is still advantageous compared to last year, but not in the same way we were hoping for a really strong spring buying season in 2026.
We've got the numbers up in control room. Keep them up because that interest rate, 6.7% this time a year ago. As I said a moment ago, 6.11% now with the week that just ended yesterday. What do you say to people who have been sitting on the sidelines because of tariffs, because of inflation and jobs numbers when they look ahead to the spring buying season?
Yeah, we still think it's a good time to buy. We say that there are all the signs pointing in the right direction for buyers. Inventory is prices are coming down. Mortgage rates, though going up in the short term, are still better than they were last year. So overall affordability in 2026 looks better than it did in 2025 and 2024. And the last 2 years had some of the lowest numbers of existing home sales we've seen since the mid-90s. And so we're really expecting a rebound in 2026. And now may be the time for those on the sidelines to really look for a home that meets their needs, because inventory is starting to expand as people decide to move in advance of the summer moving season. So there'll be more options, and before mortgage rates go up any further, this could be a really good time to get off the sidelines.
So there was this decision from a judge yesterday to toss the Justice Department subpoenas for a federal grand jury for Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair. The president has consistently pressured Powell to lower interest rates. I wonder, is the real estate market expecting changes, pricing in changes, or forecasting what will happen once this Fed chair's term is up in a couple of months?
We really don't anticipate a lot of change from the Fed. They're really in a tough position right now, staring down the barrel of stagflation. We just saw GDP numbers from the fourth quarter of 2025 get revised down, and we have inflation numbers a little bit above expectations even before these wartime changes get priced in. So we don't see a situation in which the Fed is likely to cut. or at least in a responsible way. So even the changeover in leadership there, they're in such a tough position that we're not pricing in or expecting any rate cuts for the next several months, as far as we can foresee the impact of this conflict.
You brought up the S word, stagflation, where inflation stays high, job growth is low, unemployment grows. I wonder, is this environment more likely, more fertile for stagflation over the next several quarters?
The oil shock is really the scary bit there. I'm not calling for anything to happen or for us to see stagflation necessarily, but it's the type of the thing that the Fed is thinking about and doing everything they can to.
Okay, so the oil prices, everything's going to be sky high. We already know that. It's not going to get any better anytime soon. Okay, now the reports are saying, I saw somebody reporting that Trump is saying the war is going to end soon, but we know that Trump's always lying. He's flip-flopping from one thing to the next, so you can't really go by that. But here's a report that says Trump's losing allies and perhaps the war. Or he's losing allies and perhaps using the war to distract from the Epstein files. Well, of course, that's what he's doing. Now, this is a report from MS Now. Quite frankly, the gig is up. We already know that. No, that's exactly what he's doing, clearly.
Into office, Donald Trump has repeatedly alienated some of the United States' staunchest allies, whether through his tariff policies or even calls to take over countries like Greenland. Now, as the U.S. enters the third week of its war against Iran, nations around the world are also facing the military and, most importantly, a little bit, economic impacts, leading to questionable support of the U.S.'s actions at a time when it may need it the most. In the UK, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, the country's third biggest party in parliament, is calling on their prime minister to urge King Charles to cancel his upcoming state visit to the U.S. next month as a result of the ongoing war. Ed Davey posted online, quote, given Trump's illegal war that is devastating the Middle East and pushing up energy bills, Prime Minister Keir Starmer should advise the king to call off April's state visit to the U.S. A state visit should not be given to someone who repeatedly insults and damages our country. Joining us now is Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats Party in the UK. Sir, thank you very much for joining us this morning. When we are in kind of a deluge of news here, and as reporters and journalists, we're constantly digging through it, and we have our own views of how this country may be viewed. When you talk to your colleagues, when you talk to people that you represent, the people of the UK, when they look at a Justice Department that is gutted, they look at, a president who is governing by id, who will decide that the Iran war is over when he feels it in his bones. How do people in the UK view this country at this moment?
Well, let's be clear. Many of us love America. And we're full of admiration for what many of you are doing in Minnesota, across the country, standing up to Trump. And, we're full of admiration for what you're doing. Beating Trump is vital for America. It's also vital for the rest of the world. So we're on your side when you're standing up to Trump, because I have to say, I think people across the UK are pretty unhappy. We tend to be really pro-America. Certainly Liberal Democrats are. But when you have a guy in the White House who's like this, I mean, it's unspeakable. We no longer consider Trump to be a reliable ally for our country.
Well, and to that point, Ed, I'm going to put up some headlines of how President Trump has been talking about your Prime Minister Keir Starmer, where the president said, I'm very disappointed in Starmer over Iran, or says that Starmer is no Winston Churchill, or rebuking Starmer for not letting the U.S. attack Iran from UK bases, or Trump accusing Starmer of seeking to, quote, join wars after we've already won. And we like to talk about, on both sides of the pond, about the special relationship between our two nations. And I appreciate your kind words, the people to people, British to Americans, citizens wise. But when it comes to the nations, has that special relationship been harmed by the constant attacks by the President of the United States on the British Prime Minister?
Undoubtedly, Donald Trump is not helping that relationship that we value so much. And, I think he should look in the mirror. I mean, I'm not going to here to defend our prime minister. He's a leader of a different political party. But one thing I will say for our politicians, they wear shoes that fit.
That is the most incredible dig at Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the picture of him in those.
You all know why they said they wear shoes that fit? Because I forgot to show you all days ago, Marco Rubio had on a pair of shoes that Trump gave him. And the shoes were ugly as hell. And not to mention, they were like at least a half size, if not a whole size too big. And somebody took a picture close up of the shoes. Looked so ridiculous.
Shoes that do not fit. I thought I was the only one who noticed that.
You were not.
Sir Ed, you are fire this morning.
Sir Ed, I'm wondering, the Prime Minister has deployed limited military resources to the conflict, seemingly because you've all inadvertently been dragged into this. But is there anything that the Parliament and that you all can do to ensure that no more military resources than you've already deployed are further deployed?
Yeah, we're certainly in my party arguing we shouldn't get involved in this. Frankly, the Prime Minister, in my view, hasn't stood up to Donald Trump anywhere near enough. I've been arguing that while we have Trump in the White House, we need to look for strengthening our alliances with our European colleagues, with our Commonwealth colleagues like Canada. What I'm looking at for our Prime Minister is to make sure not only does he keep out of the war, but he's not dragged into it by pressure from the White House. So, there's many of us in the UK Parliament who are asking some tough questions to make sure our country doesn't follow Donald Trump. And, let's face it, this illegal war of Donald Trump is devastating for countries across the Middle East who are our allies, but it's devastating for people, isn't it? We're seeing the price at the pump for our petrol and diesel go up. We're seeing oil price go up. It's going to damage our economy. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about it in America, what he's doing to your economy. He's really letting people down in America, and he's letting British people down too by his outrageous, reckless actions.
Is there, though, political will to stop a war in the House of Commons right now?
احنا كنا نايمين كان اطفال هذا الطفل وهذا الطفل.
I'm sure if there was a vote in the House of Commons, there'd be a majority to say we're not having any part of this war. My party wasn't that keen on the Iraq war, I have to say. I voted against the Iraq war and when Tony Blair joined George Bush. But I think it wouldn't be just the Liberal Democrats this time. I think we'd have people from probably all parties saying, no, this is a war we should keep out of. We do have people on the right, people like Nigel Farage, who's a best buddy of Donald Trump, at least he claims to. He was cheerleading for the war. I think he's gone a bit quiet now because he realizes that most people in the UK think it's a disaster for our world and disaster for our economy.
British ambassador to MAGA.
Exactly. I want to read something, Trump's Truth Social post about Starmer after the announcement one of the UK's aircraft carriers was placed on high readiness. He said, the United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's okay, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer, but we will remember we don't need people that join wars after we've already run. President, in all caps, Donald J. Trump. Sir, what is your reaction to the President of the United States referring to the UK as our once great ally?
Well, it's sad in a way because many of us still see that relationship between the UK and America so important. But I think it speaks volumes for your president, I'm afraid. I think he's betraying everything that has made America great. He claims he's making America great again. Well, he's not. He's losing influence. He's losing allies. He's ruining your economy. There are people in the UK who think he's doing it as distraction from the whole issue around the Epstein files. I don't know if you know, but in the UK, we're holding British politicians who were involved in that scandal with that paedophile sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein. We're holding them to account. We're holding our Prime Minister to account for having I think badly, using bad judgment, appointing Peter Mandelson to be the US ambassador, even though he'd had a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein after he'd been convicted. So we're doing our job holding British politicians to account. I think Donald Trump should be held to account. And some people argue, I don't know if it's true or not, but some people argue that he's gone to war, this hugely expensive, damaging war, in order to distract people from being held to account for the thousands of times his name's appeared in the Epstein files and his close friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Sir Ed Davey, real fast, can Prime Minister Starmer survive the controversies that have come out and that have hit his government as a result of the Epstein files?
It's a good question. I mean, he's shown catastrophic failure of judgment, really poor judgment, and all the evidence coming out from the UK files as well suggests that he made a massive mistake. Right. Only time will tell. It partly depends on the Labour Party. He's a leader of the Labour Party, right, and that's what puts him Prime Minister. Depends what Labour MPs think. Certainly, from our point of view, he really has shown that he's made some serious mistakes, and he needs to answer for them properly. Mm-hmm.
All right. They said he's made some mistakes and needs to answer for them properly. See, this is all bad. Trump's losing allies and the war, okay? Nothing he's doing is making sense. And the sad thing is, he went around here and ticked all these people off even before the war started. Did he not think he was going to need any of them after the fact? Now, he's made threats to Greenland, Norway, or basically to Norway about Greenland. Okay, he's threatened China with tariffs. The same thing to Canada, trying to basically make them the 51st state. I mean, just all kinds of BS. Talked crazy to Zelensky, disrespected the man in the White House. And now he needs every last one of these people that he's been going in on. Make it all make sense. Okay, so let's go to this dangerously disrespectful of rules of war. This is what they say, and they say that Hexeth has been slammed. Yeah, because they're not following the rules of engagement. They're just doing whatever, desperate to win. That's how you know. And then pay attention, because Trump wants to sit here and paint this narrative that Iran are the ones that would target civilians. But people that don't give a darn about the rules of engagement, people that don't care about following the rules of war, that are committing war crimes and don't have a problem with doing so, they're the ones that would likely kill civilians. I mean, they already killed children. Okay, what could be worse than that? And they did it intentionally. But is anybody going to call out the U.S. while they try to call out all these other nations? Okay, they try to dictate the narrative of other nations. They try to run in there and snatch out people's leaders, tell people who to put in power. How would they like it if other nations did that to them? Okay, I would love to see somebody try it. And I wonder what would be the United States response, okay, besides shock and awe.
Committee. Senator, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Great to be on with you again.
I want to ask you about our relationship with England. We just had on a member of the UK Parliament and reminded us how much that special relationship has been compromised as the U.S. has gone to war with Israel and our European allies have declined to join in on that. Can you talk a little bit about how those relationships have been compromised and whether you feel that they have been irrevocably compromised?
Yes, Jackie. Look, the United States' most important allies in the world are our NATO allies. For the decades since the Second World War, the United States has depended on close partnerships. Now, for many years, presidents of both parties had complained that our European NATO allies were not bearing enough of the cost of their defense. And President Trump partly ran on they were not bearing enough of the cost of the war in Ukraine, defending Ukraine against Russian aggression. So last year, our NATO allies genuinely stepped up, and they are now spending tens of billions of dollars more, both on the defense of Ukraine and on their own military security and defense. And what did Trump do after that? Threatened to take Greenland from Denmark, one of our most trustworthy and reliable NATO allies. I led a bipartisan group of senators and House members to go to Denmark during the week that Trump was threatening to either use military force or big tariffs on all of our core NATO allies. And I'll tell you, they felt betrayed. And later at the Munich Security Conference, where all of the national security and political leadership of Europe gathers after Trump's just heartbreaking, really unserious and disrespectful speech where he said, we never asked NATO for anything and NATO never did anything for us. After 52 Danes died fighting alongside our troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, the sense of betrayal was widespread and profound. So
do you all remember that when Trump said NATO never did anything for the U.S.? Okay, this is how he is. This man has no loyalty. He doesn't know the meaning of the word. He's loyal to no one. Okay, he is only for himself, and he will throw anybody and everybody under the bus just to save himself. That's exactly what he'll do. Anyone trusting Trump is a fool. I'll bet you Melania doesn't even trust him. Neither do his own children, okay, if they have sense.
Launching this new war in Iran with really only our ally Israel, not building a coalition of European allies, not consulting with NATO, and essentially dragging them into another war in the Middle East because there have now been attacks on Cyprus and on Turkey, a NATO ally, an attack on a UK base in Cyprus, and an attack three times now on Turkey. Our NATO allies are feeling strained to the limit to support this military effort. Frankly, Jackie, the costs are already too high.
And let me just say, he said they're already feeling drained to the limit. He said the cost is already too high. What did I tell you all days ago? What did I tell you all days ago? You see, that is the strategy right there. You make them, suffer financially. You make the cost of the war unbearable too, until it gets to the point that it's unbearable for the opposition to continue fighting. They're not only doing that to the U.S. and Bibi's people, they're doing it to the other people that are their allies. They're hitting them all where it hurts. This guy already sounds like they've had enough. They already want to throw in the towel, and it's only a matter of time until the rest do the same. Okay, then what's Trump going to do? Please pay attention.
We've lost 13 American service members. The Pentagon is spending over $1 billion a day. And I'll tell you, in private classified briefings, they don't have clearer or better answers on exactly what is the goal, how long this will take, what it will cost, and how it's making Americans safer.
Senator, I want to play from Pete Hegseth's press briefing, I guess, from Friday and get your reaction of what he said on the other side.
With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response, we will keep pressing, we will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies.
You all notice how Pete Hegseth never really says anything significant. All he does is use buzzwords, like I told you all yesterday. We'll keep pushing, keep moving, keep going, keep thriving, laser focused. Sit down somewhere, okay?
Of 1899 has a lot to say on no quarter. It says, quote, "It is especially prohibited to declare that no quarter will be given." Is the defense secretary telling our soldiers to commit a war crime?
Oh, look, he's being dangerously disrespectful of the basic rules of war and of how we should conduct ourselves in a war. He is not taking responsibility for the strike that killed 175 civilians, many of them school children. And frankly, before this war began, he largely dismissed the staff and closed down the Civilian Protection Center in the Office of the Secretary of Defense. The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Brown, advised against that, according to press accounts, before he was fired. And I think that Secretary Hegseth's rhetoric about maximum lethality and no quarter is directly connected to how he has been leading this war on behalf of the Pentagon and our military. And I think it frankly makes us less safe. I'll remind you how he first came to President Trump's attention as a Fox News host who was urging the pardoning of American soldiers who committed war crimes in Afghanistan. He's made his bones on the far right as someone who says we shouldn't have rules of engagement that constrain how we can conduct a war. I'll remind you that our close partner and ally, the United Kingdom, really raised questions about the legality of boat strikes where day after day the Pentagon was blowing up allegedly drug trafficking boats in the Southern Caribbean. And our UK allies asked questions about whether this was legal, whether it was being done appropriately. We shouldn't have such tensions in our closest alliances.
You know, Senator, someone else who hasn't taken responsibility for that bombing of the school in Iran is the president of the United States, who, when asked about it, said, I don't know anything about it. But, Senator, your reaction when you heard that the Pentagon is getting set to deploy some 5,000, up to 5,000 additional service members and several additional ships to the region in Iran, does that raise concerns for you about the possibility of literal boots on the ground in Iran to achieve whatever objective the president might have in mind at that given moment, whatever that might be?
Absolutely, Jonathan. Look, this is not a video game. Secretary Hegseth's Pentagon has put out a whole series of videos that sort of cut between sports video games like Wii Sports and, grainy black and white images of military targets and people being killed in airstrikes. This is a deadly, serious war. And deploying, the White House, even better. Deploying 5,000 Marines, deploying additional resources that really are there just to put boots on the ground and signaling that Karg Island might be one of those targets, or that securing the enriched uranium that may or may not still be at Isfahan might be another target, raises real concerns for me. They did not come to Congress or the American people and make the case for a war of choice that could go on for months and where the introduction of American troops would be dangerous and does not have a clearly defined goal.
Senator, before we're out of time, while we are at war, are there any legislative texts that steps that Congress can take in order to alleviate some of the economic pressure that's been put on Americans during this period?
I just joined a bill, I believe by Senator Heinrich of New Mexico, that I call the Give It Back bill. President Trump collected over $160 billion in what's essentially a national sales tax, tariffs that were put on the purchases of average Americans over the last year. And the Supreme Court has said he has to give it back. And now the administration is saying, oh, that'll take months and months. They can't figure out exactly how to do it. A group of us have introduced a piece of legislation that says, then give it back. Give a tax break to working Americans that's roughly the equivalent of how much more they paid in Trump's illegal tariffs.
Senator Chris Coons, you guys should be very busy in this upcoming weeks. Thank you very much for coming back to the weekend.
All right. Now we're going to go to this clip that just came out about 2 hours ago. Now, this is Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi. Okay, he's speaking to MS Now. Let's get into it because we're going to get to the bottom of it. Okay, I love when he comes out and speaks because he tells us what's really going down. Here we go.
Foreign Minister Araghchi, thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. I wanted to start with the news overnight that the U.S. has carried out a military strike on Karg Island. The President of the United States said that for reasons of decency, I have chosen not to wipe out all the oil infrastructure on the island. However, should Iran or anyone else do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I will immediately reconsider this decision. Let me start by asking you about what has happened on Karg Island and what is Iran's response to these strikes.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I think our armed forces have already answered that they would retaliate if our oil and energy infrastructure are attacked. And they will attack any energy infrastructure in the region which belongs to an American company or an American company is a shareholder. So the reaction would be clear. Last night, they have attacked Khark Island and Abu Musa Island with, the artillery rocket system, HIMARS as they call it, which is a low-range rockets. And they have done it from the soil of our neighbors. And this is crystal clear that now they are using the territory of our neighbors to attack us by these kind of, rockets. And this is absolutely
Which
unacceptable.
neighbors, sir?
Well, the last night attacks were tracked by our forces, and now it is clear that they are fired from UAE, from two locations in the UAE, from in Ras Al Khaimah, and from a location very close to the city of Dubai. And it is very, dangerous that they use highly populated areas to launch, rockets against us. We would certainly retaliate, but we try to be careful not to attack any populated area.
I want you to pay attention to how he said that they tried to be very careful not to target any populated area. Okay? Pay attention because, like I said, Trump tries to act as though these are the people that intentionally target civilians. But that's what the Izzy people do. We know they do that for a fact, a documented history of doing that. Okay? Please pay attention.
Is there any sign that Iran is prepared to allow passage of the Strait of Hormuz? Will the Strait of Hormuz remain closed so long as this war continues?
Well, as a matter of fact, the Strait of Hormuz is open. It is only closed to the tankers and ships belong to our enemies, to those who are attacking us and their allies. Others are free to pass. Of course, many of them prefer not because of their security concerns. This has nothing to do with us. And at the same time, there are many tankers and ships who are passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and I can say that the strait is not closed, but it is only closed to American, Israeli, ships and tankers, and not to others.
We know that Iran has elected a new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. He has not been seen yet in public, though he did issue a statement yesterday. I'm sure you have heard the comments from the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who has said that he claimed the supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. What is the status of the supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei?
Well, they have made so many claims like this. Yesterday, they said that all Iranian authorities are in the bunkers, but at the same time, the whole world saw our president, the Speaker of Parliament, everybody, the Secretary of our National Security Council, everybody was in the street among the people who demonstrated. So there are lots of accusations like that. They will see soon, I guess, that there is no problem with the new supreme leader. He sent his message yesterday, and he will perform his duties. He is performing his duties according to the Constitution, and he will continue to do that. I think by now, it should have been clear and it should have been known for everybody that our system is very well rooted in the society. The Islamic Republic is a system which is not dependent on any individual or any group of people. It is well established. It's a very well established political structure, and the deep state is doing its, functions, is functioning, and everything is in place. So they shouldn't have any hope for anything happen to the individuals. That the system is working. It worked properly after the assassination of the and martyrdom of our supreme leader. You saw that nothing happened and everything remained in order, and still everything is under control.
I wanted to ask you about the war strategy from an Iranian perspective. Can you tell us right now, as you know, there has been reporting that both Russia and China are providing targeting intelligence to Iran to target either U.S. positions, facilities, infrastructure across the region. Can you confirm or deny whether Russia or China is providing military support?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Intelligence to Iran?
Well, Russia and China are our strategic partners, and we have had close cooperation in the past, which is still continues, and that includes military cooperation as well. I'm not going into any details of that. A good cooperation with these two countries, politically, economically, even militarily. To say once again that this is not our war. This is an imposed war against us. We didn't start this war. It was an unprovoked, unwarranted, illegal act of aggression against us, and we are only defending ourselves, and we continue to defend ourselves as much as it takes, and as long as it takes, in order to end this war in a way that it won't be repeated in the future.
As you probably saw, the United Nations this week, UN Security Council passed a resolution condemning your attacks on your Arab neighbors. It received 130 co-sponsors, which is a very significant number. Your close allies that you just said are providing you support, Russia and China, they didn't veto that. They abstained from it, but they didn't veto it and allowed the resolution to pass. Do you think the global community has spoken clearly about the way Iran has conducted this war on its Arab neighbors with condemnation and calling on it to stop?
The Security Council is suffering from the lack of justice in its decisions and resolutions it makes. How is it possible that the Security Council condemned us for defending ourselves and is not condemning the United States and Israel who started this aggression? So if they want to have a just, full decision or resolution which can work, they should consider all aspects of any event. We are under attack. It was the United States and Israel who started this war. They deserve to be condemned, not us. What we are doing is, and this is why that so many countries have become hopeless about the role of the Security Council, including the United States, who has decided to go for its own board of peace, or even for the United States. The Council votes politically and based on the interest of, certain countries and not based on realities, based on justice.
You do acknowledge, though, that Iran is targeting civilian targets across the Gulf countries, right? Because, I've spoken to officials across the region, and many of the targets that have been hit are clearly civilian buildings. Why is Iran targeting civilian buildings and airports and commercial ports in Gulf countries that made clear they are not involved in these attacks against your country?
No, it is clear that we are attacked from, unfortunately, their territories, from American bases and American military installations in the territory of the Persian Gulf countries. And this is very unfortunate. What we are doing as an act of self-defense is to targeting American bases, American installations, American assets, and American interests, which are unfortunately located in the territory of our neighbors. Just as an example, 2 days ago, the United States attacked one of our, banks. They are doing, they are attacking our, cities and our and civilian targets. They attacked a school in Minab. It is very well known for the whole world. They have attacked some hospitals. Two days ago, they attacked a bank of Iran. A building belongs to a bank. And so we decided to retaliate in kind with the building into cities around us. So what we are doing is only the principle of an eye for an eye, which is very well known.
Okay. Well,
let me ask you really quickly about the negotiations before the war started. Do you believe Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were good faith negotiators conveying accurate information back to the White House about Iran's position during these negotiations? There's been some reports that you shouted at Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, that you threatened that you had enriched uranium to make 11 nuclear weapons. I want you to set the record straight on those negotiations in the final days before the war.
Well, I don't know what they have conveyed to their boss. What I know is that on 26 February, when we met in Geneva, we were able to make a good progress. As Omani Foreign Minister, the intermediator said it was a significant progress. And before he posted his tweet, he read it to both delegations, and both delegations accepted that, yes, this is the right, the right saying about what we have made today. Significant progress. This is what we were able to do it on 26 February. Well, the things which are said by U.S. interlocutors, I do understand why they are saying those things. They want to justify an unjustifiable act of aggression. So they are trying to make some excuses for themselves. I never said that we are going to make bombs. I said that we have 440 kilos of 60% enriched material, and that was not a secret. That is what is mentioned in the reports of the IAEA. So I said that, look, this is mentioned in the report. This, if enriched more, can be good enough for 10 bombs, as your own experts claims. So we are ready to give them up and to give them away. We are ready to dilute them, to downblend them into lower degrees. And by saying that, I wanted to say that the concession that we are making is really big. But how they have interpreted that, I don't know. Maybe because the lack of enough knowledge, maybe because of their intentions to justify, as I said, the act of aggression, which cannot be justified. I hope that the true story of what happened on 26 February in Geneva would become, known to the people soon.
Mr. Foreign Minister, thank you so much for your time.
A deal. That is the reality.
Okay, that man speaks very eloquently. Okay, he doesn't do any boasting and bragging like Trump and Hegseth's stupid selves, not sitting there making up lies as he goes or trying to evade answers and whatnot. Now, he's not going to tell them the strategy or whether the supreme leader is actually dead or not. It's not going to tell them. He said, I guess they'll find out. There's lots of rumors or whatever. Okay, so, quite frankly, I wouldn't tell them either. Okay, I would let them think whatever they want about that. Why tell them? So they can target him? And, where's BB? Okay, why aren't they interviewing BB's people and asking where the hell he is? Because I have several questions. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about those drones that they allege were stolen. Okay, because I found it oil nefarious. Remember, I told you all, I said if they came there and stole those drones from Fort Campbell, how did they get in? Because they have all these different ways that you have to get in or whatever. They have all these, not ways, but all of these different steps that you have to go through. Okay, and then I said, how did they get it out of the gate? Okay, how did they get it over the gate? I have several questions. But here's someone who's been in the military, and this is what he has to say about all of it. Okay, Buckhurst, DC, I see you keep putting Puff Daddy. Yeah, we're going to talk about Diddy's appeal. Okay, I just saw that popped up. So we'll talk about that last.
So the United States government said someone went onto a military base and stole some drones. Anybody that's a military veteran knows that is a crock of shit. To get onto a military base, someone that lives on the base or someone that is in the military with a government ID has to vouch for you. You have to check in at the front station that is outside of the military base, show the MPs your government issued ID, give them your home address, and how long you're going to be on the base. This is how strict they are with inventory in the military. Let's say I check this screwdriver out with this flathead extension. I go out, do my job, come back, and I turn this in without the flathead extension. They will shut that flight line down, and everybody has to walk the flight line from one end to the other, shoulder to shoulder, until you find it. On top of that, my line badge would be pulled, my security clearance would be pulled, and I would be punished. They don't fuck around with that. They even make you sign out on a dotted line with your government issued ID, your military ID, and your name to check out a basketball at the rec center on the base. There's no fucking way someone went on there and stole some drones. These motherfuckers are lying their goddamn ass off. They think we're a bunch of fucking idiots. It's unrealistic. It's impossible. Who the fuck do they think we are? I mean, come on. Don't fall for this shit anymore. These dumb motherfuckers, man. It's irritating that they're playing us like this. There's no fucking way. No fucking way at all possible. It's the shit pisses me off as a military veteran that they're fucking playing us for fools like this. The shit's fucking, it's fucking disgusting. It's mocking the military and the institution of the military of all branches. I don't care if you're in the Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines. They're making fun of us all by sitting there saying that, thinking that someone's going to go on there and steal some fucking drones when you can get in trouble for not turning in.
Okay, so the lies continue. I knew there was a lie when I first heard it, okay? When I reported it all to you yesterday, I said that sounds hella suspicious. All right, so let's continue because here we have a former general, and here's what he has to say about the war and what's going on.
A Trump-friendly four-star general has just issued a chilling warning about the Donald's lawless war against Iran. It's something that represents grave danger and Trump has no control over, and I have the full story for you next. The military icon is retired Army General and former CIA Director David Petraeus. I say Trump-friendly because he was once considered by Trump for Secretary of State. In this first clip, he speaks of Trump's mindset for taking action when he did. Have a look, and on the other side, I'll share his words about the repercussions that are likely a blind spot for our unqualified commander-in-chief.
President Trump was increasingly frustrated with the progress of the nuclear talks. Notwithstanding the announcement by a third country foreign minister who was facilitating the talks that there was big progress, that was apparently not the case, certainly not in the perception of the policymakers and the president in the United States. And then third, all of a sudden, you have this exquisite intelligence. In the manhunt business, and I was in that when I was commander in Iraq or Afghanistan or Central Command, which is the commands responsible for all of this area, and CIA, frankly. When you have pattern of life that is perfect, but is likely fleeting, that can lead you to if you will, take the shot. And in this case, 40 liters in 40 seconds to begin that war. Not just the supreme leader and a number of others. It wounded his son, by the way, as well, who now is the new supreme leader. By the way, the son's mother and wife killed, but also the Minister of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, the Regime Protection Force, and many, many others very, very quickly early on. And so I think that's what led to the decision to do it at that moment.
So the frustrated Trump's impulse control was tested, and the bloodthirsty Trump seized the opportunity to take them out in bulk. Okay, so now what? The draft dodger and his Department of War Crimes has a solid plan and an exit strategy, right? Right?
The U.S. clearly has the upper hand, but there are second and third order effects that the U.S. and the world is living through right now.
Absolutely.
The price of oil going up about $100. Yep. Strait of Hormuz is closed.
Yep. Except to Iranian tankers
going to China.
Yes.
Which is, I want to get to that from a strategic perspective. But in the meantime, you have U.S. allies in the Middle East who bought into this partnership in part because we were going to protect them from stuff like this. And while, yes, we shoot down 99% of the missiles, when one hits a five-star hotel, folks get nervous, right? Did this administration underestimate the repercussions, the after effects of this?
I do think that there was a recognition that Iran could conduct what's called horizontal escalation, which is what they have done. So they're not just going after our bases, and they've had very, very minimal success, but you can still kill American soldiers, as we have seen with a drone that hit a port facility where some of our logistics soldiers were operating in Kuwait. But no, they've been going after, and I think what hit the hotel, I think, was a drone, actually.
Yeah,
these are Shahed drones. These are very cheap, $20,000, $30,000 a piece. They just go, they're not remotely piloted. They just go to the GPS grid that is provided. That's why, by the way, it's worrisome that the Russians may be providing targeting information and also locations of our ships and the rest of that. So I think that had to be assumed, and I think that there had to be a recognition that there could be interdiction of the Suez, or actually on the other side, the Bab el-Mandeb, but the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf. What that changes things dramatically, though, because initially people were asking me that question that I asked rhetorically of my embedded reporter Rick Atkinson during the fight to Baghdad, as I was watching all of the assumptions we've been given invalidated one by one. I was a two-star then. I forgot I was on the record. I said, Rick, tell me how this ends. And I heard that from every congressional hearing that I had for the rest of my life. But when people ask me that question, I said it ends when President Trump decides that it ends, when he feels that he has met the conditions. That's a little more complicated now, because now that there is a hardliner to replace the hardline former Supreme Leader, who happens to be the Supreme Leader's son, who has just issued his first statement, and it was quite defiant, to put it mildly. All of a sudden, we're going to have to figure out how to come to grips with the Iran threat, because they may not end the war when we do.
Trump will win this war by his definition, but there's nothing to keep extremists from continuing with missile or drone attacks on soft targets and on the shipping lanes in the Middle East, initiating cyber attacks, or launching or funding terrorist attacks in the United States. September 11-like events could already be in the works and can be implemented long after the United States stands down, and even long after Donald Trump lays down for the last time. And if that day does come, it will be a sequel to his already damage-filled legacy.
Now I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention. They're talking about like a 9/11 style incident. Okay, if anything like that happens, I'm going to be looking right at the U.S. and Izzy. That's who I'm going to be looking at. Okay, please. Because in my opinion, the last time something like that happened, it was the same old usual suspects, in my opinion. Now, Nice MTNK said, how do you feel about real ID requirements? Thank you for your question and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I don't think about it. Okay, I don't think about it. It's an ID. We all have to have one, and I quite frankly don't care. I don't care about the real ID, nor do I care about chips and credit cards or any of that, because if I don't want to carry it, I just won't. I'll just leave it somewhere. I don't have to take it with me. We're going to have IDs regardless. I'm more concerned about things they want to inject inside of people for them to track you. That's what concerns me more so. RFIDs and things like that. I don't really care about IDs or, like I said, chips and credit cards, any of that crap. The stuff they put on your cell phones to track us, I don't care about any of that because I know how to turn it all off. I know how to turn all of it off. Okay, at the end of the day, and y'all need to be sure that that stuff is turned off too, because they can track you, your exact location. What the hell they need to know my exact location for? Y'all need to turn all that stuff off on your phones. That stuff runs in the backgrounds and just gathering up information, honey. It's automatically by default, it's turned on most of the time. Also, that's what concerns me. Okay. When they want to inject something in you so they can know where you're at all times. Now, that's scary. That's an invasion of privacy. All right? I'm just saying, if you want to go on the run or something, you can ditch that other stuff. Not that I would go on the run, but I'm just saying. Okay? Michael said, get yourself a satellite phone. No, I'm good. I'll keep my iPhone. They just won't be able to track me on it because I know how to turn off the bullshit. Now, let's continue because somebody says that Pete Hegseth spent about $90 million. Yikes. Okay, let's get into it.
Sam here for LA Magazine, and Pete Hegseth is in deep, deep trouble for $93 billion that the Pentagon spent in September because they had to. It's a shopping.
Billions, that's even worse. $90 billion in September, honey. Let's hear this.
Spree. Talk about Brewster's billions. Let's just talk about what he spent. $15.1 million on ribeye steak. I do love ribeyes. $6.9 million on lobster tails. $2 million on Alaskan king crabs. God, I'm getting hungry. $139,224 on 272 orders of donuts. $124,000 for ice cream machines, furniture and office luxuries. $225 million total on furniture, the highest amount in over a decade. But hey, who cares about waste and fraud, right? Those could have found this, but they didn't. $60,000 for Herman Miller recliners, the nicest chairs on earth. $12,000 for fruit basket stands. Technology and entertainment, $3.5 billion for cable TV services. Didn't we cut the cord a long time ago? $5.3 million on Apple devices, including iPads. $4 million on Samsung devices. Miscellaneous. $98,329 for a Steinway & Sons grand piano for the Air Force Chief of Staff's home. What? $26,000 for a violin. $21,750 for a handmade Japanese flute. What's going on, Pete? We need answers. Why did Doge not look into this waste and fraud? For LA Magazine, Secret Service Sam, out. Samson for president.
I know he's got to be lying. Ooh, but it does say that the Pentagon authorized it, beloveds. It says reports indicate that in September of 2025, under Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the Pentagon authorized over $93 billion during the final month of the fiscal year. This use it or lose it spending spree reportedly included millions on luxury food items, like $6.9 million on lobster. They all know they're lying. Y'all know they're lying. So then what are they really doing with this money besides putting it in their bank accounts? These people are getting rich off of the taxpayers' dimes. Y'all know damn well if they had all that money to waste on BS, like that money's being pocketed. Okay, spend it or lose it. That's basically what they're saying. So he had to spend this money real quick, just like Sam said, like Brewster's millions or billions. In this case, billions. So they spent all this money. What about the homeless crisis in this darn country? What about people that can't afford adequate health care? What about homeless veterans specifically? This is what they do with our money? Are y'all listening? This whole thing is a grift. The whole government is corrupt. Okay, somebody needs to come and save us from this regime. Y'all hear this? We need to be liberated in the United States. Y'all don't think so? This is absolutely egregious. Wow, really? Anyway, what do y'all have to say about it, honey? I'll tell you this much. I'm going to give y'all a couple more reports and I'm out of here. Because listen, word on the streets is that Iran, the IRGC launched 1 to 2 ton warheads. Let's get into it. Declares considerable part of Izzy's sky under our control. According to this report, it's all nefarious. Miss Mississippi said welfare at its finest. Okay, but they don't call it welfare when they get it. When the billionaires get it, they want to act like it's just, what do they call it? Bailouts. That's what they like to say, bailouts. I guess that sounds better to them.
Challenging both Israel and the U.S., hinting at unprecedented control over Israeli skies. Tehran launches 30 advanced ballistic missiles in successive waves under its ongoing campaign, signaling the largest strike pattern yet. Iran claims control over large sections of Israeli airspace, leaving the Israeli Defense Forces scrambling to assess the breach. Iranian commanders announced they have taken down Israel's core aerospace monitoring grid, describing it as a major intelligence victory. The Iranian military says its new missiles, carrying massive 1 to 2 ton warheads, have successfully hit predetermined strategic sites. On the night of March 13th into the 14th, Iran launched a large-scale missile offensive against Israel, framing it as a direct act of retaliation for recent regional escalations. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps reported that 30 super heavy ballistic missiles were launched, aimed at what it described as critical military and strategic installations across Israeli territory. Iranian commanders asserted that the barrage successfully dismantled parts of Israel's aerospace monitoring infrastructure, calling it a major blow to the nation's defense network. Following the strikes, the IRGC announced that the scale and precision of its operation had allowed Iran to assert control over a significant portion of Israel's airspace, at least temporarily. Major General Majid Mousavi, a senior IRGC commander, stated that the mission achieved its central goal, the destruction of Israel's core aerospace systems used for early detection and defense. Speaking to Iranian media, Mousavi declared that a considerable area of Israeli airspace had fallen under Iranian observation and control, describing it as a turning point in the ongoing conflict. IRGC commander, Brigadier General Said Majid Mousavi posted on X, saying, 30 super heavy ballistic missiles, carrying warheads weighing between 1 and 2 tons, have been fired at specified targets in the occupied territories on the Night of Destiny, which was observed on Thursday night in Iran. The operation has successfully disrupted and destroyed key aerospace monitoring and surveillance systems of the regime. As a result of this operation, a considerable part of the regime's airspace is now under our control. Iran confirmed that the missile barrage formed waves 45, 46, and 47 of its ongoing Operation True Promise 4, marking one of the most sustained offensive phases of the campaign. During the 45th wave, Iranian forces reportedly used cluster munitions to strike central Israel, damaging at least 3 sites identified as military or logistic installations. The 46th wave followed with coordinated missile and drone assaults on Tel Aviv, Rishon LeZion, and Shoam, targets the IRGC said were chosen for their operational significance. In the 47th and latest wave, Iran expanded its reach, reportedly hitting positions across the Negev Desert, Bir al-Sab, the Nevatim Air Base, and the city of Lod.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. We see they're clearly inflicting damage, okay? That's what they're doing. And so the war rages on. At the end of the day, it doesn't look like anybody's going to ceasefire or surrender at this point. Now, I saw someone reporting that Trump said it was going to be over within an hour. I'm sure he was lying. Okay, I'm sure he was lying. Please pay attention. Now, before we roll out of here, let's talk about Diddy. Okay, because it has come to my attention that there's a report that came out about Diddy saying the judge gave me way too harsh a sentence, honey. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are arguing that his sentence is far too harsh, accusing the judge in a new legal filing of punishing him for crimes for which he was acquitted. Now, the rapper's legal team filed an appeal on Friday in which they point out a jury found Diddy not guilty of trafficking and RICO charges. Yet Diddy received a sentence that his attorneys say is roughly 4 times higher than normal for his prostitution-related Mann Act convictions. Diddy's attorneys blast his 50-month sentence as a perversion of justice. They say the judge engaged in acquitted conduct sentencing, the practice of increasing punishment based on rejected allegations, which they insist has been criticized across the legal landscape. Now, Diddy's team wants an appeals court to order Diddy's immediate release and grant a judgment of acquittal or at least vacate and remand for resentencing. As you know, Diddy was acquitted on the major federal charges that he faced last year following a 2-month-long trial. He was acquitted on 2 counts of transportation for the purpose of prostitution, or he was convicted. Is that what I said? On 2 counts of transportation for the purpose of prostitution in July. Months later, Judge Arun Subramanian sentenced Diddy to 50 months in prison, for which Diddy's attorneys claim was him acting as a 13th juror. Okay, so what do you all say about it? Somebody in the comments said, just shut up and do the time. What do y'all have to say? What do y'all have to say? Robert says R. Kelly has nothing on Diddy and Trump. Nobody has anything on Trump, in my opinion. Nice M10K said, I agree with that. Sentence was too harsh. He should have had time served and probation. I agree with the conviction that he had. That's exactly what it should have gotten. Time served and probation. Like the judge literally did act as a 13th juror. Now, whether you like Diddy or not is beside the point, or at least it should be. The fact of the matter is that justice should be divvied out in the appropriate manner. The judges should not be able to use their bias in the sentencing of anyone. And the person should be sentenced based on the guidelines for that particular person in that particular case, not because the judge didn't like the way the final outcome was. Okay, and that's just my opinion. Infinite Vibe says now unfairly sentenced. Okay. Buckhurst DC talking about he did his time. Buckhurst DC, nobody asked you if you did your time. Somehow that doesn't surprise me, okay? Somehow I'm not shocked at all, beloved, that you did time, that is. Nene said the Epstein folks are running around free. Why not Diddy? Exactly. I mean, all the things we've heard. The stuff that Diddy was accused of doesn't hold even the slightest bit of a candle to the stuff that I've seen in the Epstein files. And all of those white men are walking around here scot-free. Even Jeffrey Epstein's walking around here scot-free. He's not dead. Okay, please miss me with it. At least not in my opinion. So with that all being said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's all I'm saying. Now, at the end of the day, I can't wait to see what sentence they're going to give the Alexander brothers, the 2 Israeli brothers who were just found guilty in the Southern District of New York for trafficking, RICO, and all the other nefarious. No, they weren't charged with a RICO, which I don't understand why, because they sure as hell charged Diddy with one. But nonetheless, they have been convicted of the trafficking and the other host of felonious charges that they had against them. And I just wonder what their sentence is going to be. It should be 30 years to life, okay? Like they were offering Diddy, if you ask me. We'll see how that all turns out. But at the end of the day, they always going to do the black man worse. And don't y'all find it interesting? See, here's the thing. I actually wonder if this whole thing with Diddy all came about because of those Epstein files. Okay, because let's not forget how I keep reminding you all that when something's coming out about the white men being sexual deviants, any type of perverted things are coming out about them, the black man always gets called out, even if it's something that they've been alleging or having rumors about for decades. All of a sudden, now it's time to, to call in that favor and get somebody arrested. Okay, R. Kelly. All right. 20 years plus, they had rumors about R. Kelly. But then when Harvey Weinstein gets called out, now they want to start locking up R. Kelly. Okay, now I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been locked up. I'm just saying the timing of it all was quite frankly suspicious. Okay, quite frankly, suspicious. With that all being said, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast, honey. Y'all have been messy. Okay, we've been in here talking about the war and Trump with his lying self. Him and Pete Hegseth are just low down and nefarious. We talked about Clarissa Shields. Oh, also, let me just play this last video of Clarissa when she went on this little rant where she was basically talking about, why she doesn't give people money. Okay, and some of y'all need to hear it because some people really think that when somebody in the family blows up that they owe everybody else in the family something. Now, in some cases, maybe they do if people in the family supported them and sacrificed and did things for them and helped them. But if your family didn't do anything for you, talk trash about you, and quite frankly is hating on you after you come up, well, you don't owe them anything, in my opinion. And that goes for Glorilla's sister, Brorilla. I don't know why she thinks that Glo owes her something. She needs to go out and do what she needs to do to get to where she wants to be. Okay? At the end of the day, Glorilla said she got her locked up. How are you going to get your sister locked up and then expect her to pay your bills? Like, make it all make sense. But let's continue.
You realize that you're the only person that pay your bills? You realize I ain't got to deal with nobody's shit. I'm paying $5,000-$6,000 every month of my own money just so I can live. Just because these are my habits on how I live, right? Please. You wouldn't worry about what another person in this world had to say. Do you understand me? What? When I added them bills up, and then I'm like, these is my bills. But then I go to the bank and they say I spent $8,000 for the month. Where the $2,000 go or $3,000 go? And then when you see that you're just giving it out to family and friends, and these same people won't even come and do your dishes for you, clean your house, rub your back, freaking go to the store for you. When you realize that, it'll make you change your whole way of thinking. And I can say that I really changed how much I give to people and everything when I realized that, listen, I give them the shirt off my back. I go broke for them. But when they get that, I don't want to say it, they get that tax money that the government get them, because they be having them kids and stuff, they don't even want to throw you $10, $20. And the government then gave him, here go $15K. Here go $15K just because you got 3 kids and you're on welfare, right? The family who you took care of before tax season came around, they won't even give you $20, $100, $1,000, and they got free money, and they owe you money. Listen, when that hit me over the head, I said, that's crazy. I can lose everything right now, and they can have the money to help me out, and they wouldn't do it. I said, I have to save money and keep my money and keep me up and me keep growing, because I'm going to have my family one day. And I'll be damned if my kids go without because I was helping you and yours out, and you won't even give me $100, and you done got $15,000 from taxes. And I learned that. That's some people saying, oh, Clarissa be acting funny. Clarissa Hollywood, she bougie. She told me no. I got over $1 million in my account now. Way over $1 million. And that came from making those type of decisions. I ain't got it.
Okay. Clarissa says she ain't got it. That's what you got to tell your family sometimes. That's what you got to tell your family sometimes. You got to tell them you don't have it. Because everybody will have their hand out. Okay, I don't know why everybody comes around with their tongues hanging out, their hand out, as if you owe them something, specifically people who never did anything for you. Pocket watching and counting your coins, okay? Some people just absolutely feel entitled and think that you owe it to them, and you don't. And if it were the shoes were in the reverse, on the other foot, they wouldn't give you anything. But all of a sudden, I had family members one time tell me, I had sued this company and I had money coming in, and they lied and told me that I told them I was going to give them $500 when I got paid. So when did I tell you that? We've never had this discussion. Girl, yes, you did. I was telling you I was struggling and I need help with my rent. And you promised you was going to give me $500. Girl, I never told you that. That's what I didn't tell you. Like, really trying to convince me that I agreed to give you money, honey. I already knew nobody was getting nothing because nobody gave me nothing. So sit down somewhere, okay? I'm just saying, hey, the lies of it all. Y'all hear it? Not if they dreamed it, beloved, okay? They had to, because I never had any such conversation. Well, but of course, DC said, niggas always lie. Yeah, nice M10K said that was a delusion of grandeur. Okay, I got to get out of here. Danger said you ain't getting Nathan. Anyway, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Okay, listen, I might come back late tonight. I don't know. I might be outside, but if I'm not outside, I'll come back later on tonight, maybe 9:30 or 10, honey, if y'all are up. This is all nefarious. Sweet Butter said power of suggestion. Absolutely. That's what they need to practice, okay? That's what they need to be doing, okay? And that's clearly what she was doing by lying, saying that I told her. You know who else does that? I told you all this days ago, Trump. Trump does that. Remember when, who was it that said, was it Marjorie Taylor Greene? No, it was somebody. It was Trump's former press secretary from when he was first in office. And she said that Trump would tell her, just keep repeating the lie. And if you just keep saying the lie long enough, then people will start to believe it. That's the power of suggestion, okay? That's the power of suggestion. Absolutely nefarious, all right? But see, Trump's not playing that game. He's absolutely just lying because he's a pathological liar. He probably doesn't even realize that's what he's doing, okay? With his silly self. All right, silly little man gotten us into a war that we can't win. And like I said, even if they take out more of the Iranian soldiers than the Iranians take out of them and Bibi's people, it still won't matter because the bottom line is we don't have oil. We don't have the liquefied natural gas coming through the strait as we need it to, and people are going to suffer for it. There's going to be global economic collapse if he doesn't hurry up and end this thing. And now this idiot wants to have boots on the ground soldiers over there in that mountainous terrain, vast lands, and they don't even know what's going on. They don't even know, you know, what awaits them. I promise you they don't. Whatever they're thinking, whatever they fear, it's probably 10 times worse. Okay, it's probably 10 times worse. It's a darn shame. But Donald Trump doesn't care because he's not the one out there that has to be boots on the ground. None of his family members, neither his sons, has to be out there. He couldn't care less. He will be willing to sacrifice everyone else's children. And we know that because he had them blow up that school. So anyway, with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got